How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're looking lesson 2. Okay, it's I can use structure and patterns to define and determine a function rule. So if we were to redo that into a question, it's how can I find the rule when I already have the input and output? So that's the question that we need to take a look at today. So we have an input of 1, 2, and 3, an output of 3, 6, and 9. We need to take a look and see what our pattern is as we're going through and looking at our input and output. So if we take a look, we see that it's jumping by 3. It's jumping by 3 every time. Now, because it jumps plus 3, it the rule itself has to include multiplication. Now that seems weird because it's adding by 3 every single time. But when we look at it, it's 3 times our input, or 3x, equals y. Because our input times 3 equals our output. That's the relationship we have between the input and output. So if you notice, if we would have done it as x plus 3, 1 plus 3 would be 4. 2 plus 3 would be 5. So that wouldn't follow our pattern. So that doesn't work. So it's 3 times x equals y, or 3x equals y. We're going to check it by going through and adding our 10th term there. So if we were to continue to go out, and continue to go forward, and find that we have 3 times 10 equals 30, our check is good. Now, our rule sometimes, and this is more so in the future and stuff like that, will have more than one term. Remember, a term is separated by an addition or subtraction sign in our expression, in this case in our equation. So the very first thing we do is look. Okay, this goes up by 2 every time. So our rule has to have a 2x in it. But if we look, 1 times 2, when we use our substitution in for x, equals 2, not 5. So that does not work. So what else do we have to add? Since we're increasing by 2 each time, what do we also have to add to it in order for it to get to 5? So we have 2 times 1 plus what equals 5? So we know that 2 times 1 is 2, plus our unknown equals 5. We can all come through and take a look and say that we know that 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 5 equals 5. So our rule could be 2x plus 3 equals y. And let's double check that by putting in some of our other inputs. Let's try. So we have 2 times 2 plus 3 equals our output, which is 7. Let's see if that works. We have 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 equals 7, and 7 equals 7, so our check is good and balanced. All right. Now what I want you to do is try this next problem on your own. I want you to try, you have an input of 3, 4, and 5. Your output is 7, 8, and 9. Try and find the rule, and then check it by finding the next 3 terms. So I want you to find 3, 4, 5, and then check it using 6, 7, and 8 as your input, and find your output. Okay? Pause the video now and go. All right, there we go. So if we look, we go up by 1 each time. We go up by 1 each time. So our rule has to have just one x in it. But how do we get from 3 then to 7? Because 3 times 1 is 3. So we have to add 4 to it. So it's just x plus 4 equals y. So 6 plus 4 is 10. 7 plus 4 is 11. 8 plus 4 is 12. All right? Make sure that you rate yourself on your target sheet as well as on this video, on your Ed puzzle. All right, good job, guys.